and welcome to our Bright Ideas webinar, Discover the New Content Experience, or NCE. Thank you so much for joining us. Before we get started into our agenda, I just wanted to let you know a few housekeeping items. So this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on our Brightspace tutorials channel if you wish to revisit it. The Zoom Q&A box will be open for any questions that you have throughout today's session. We will also have time at the end for questions. And this slide deck, which includes some additional resources on the areas we talk about today, as well as a copy of the questions and answers from today's session, will be shared with you in a follow-up email. Let's kick things off with our agenda. So we'll start with some introductions and a quick poll to help us get to know you better. We'll also help you understand the why behind Brightspace's new content experience. Next, you'll see the new content experience in action through a demonstration, first from a learner's perspective, and then from an instructor or course designer's perspective. And finally, we will end off with a discussion and some question time. So my name is Renata, and I'm a solutions engineer at D2L, previously on the customer enablement team. I'm very excited to have an amazing team of D2Lers here with me to support this session. Christina, Victoria, Brielle, Joey, and Lindsay, thanks for being here and sharing your expertise with the group today. We'll take a quick moment to clarify some terms. So D2L is the company, and Brightspace is the name of our product, a learning management system. And the Brightspace community is D2L's free online website where members can find great teaching and learning information, share best practices, and connect with other professionals using Brightspace. So we will add the link in the chat for you to join our community if you are not already a member. So why are we talking about the new content experience? What is it? So the new content experience is really a modern and intuitive way to create and deliver content in Brightspace. And you'll see through our demonstration that it streamlines the course building for instructors and our course designers and really just provides a clearer, more engaging path for learners. So we're really excited about it. And we've also heard a lot of positive feedback from institutions that are using it. So let's learn a little bit more about why people are making the move to the new content experience and why it's so valuable. So first of all, the new content experience is clear for learners. We've heard that learners prefer the new content experience because it's really easy to navigate. They can clearly see their progress and where they're at in their course, what's required, what's coming up next, what's been complete already. This really supports that autonomy and academic success. One institution even said that on average, learners spent almost 4 hours more in units that use the content experience. So just speaking to how engaging they are. Secondly, it's simpler for educators. So because the new content experience is so intuitive, it's really easy to get started using it because it's so simple to use. So less clicks and less effort so instructors can really spend more of their time on teaching and learning. It's also efficient for instructors and course designers. So we know how time-consuming it is to set up a course, and the new content experience really streamlines that building process and simplifies those content authoring workflows. So it was really designed to save you time when it comes to managing, organizing, and creating content. So it can just be done fast and intuitively in the new content experience. And then finally, the new content experience is really where Brightspace is heading. So it already is delivering some time savings for many of our clients that we've heard, and we're just continuing to add new features to it. It reflects the latest in usability research, it's built for accessibility, and benefits from the ongoing improvements based on real user feedback from you. So without further ado, I'm going to take you on a journey of a learner using the new content experience. So you'll see how the visual layout of new content experience offers an engaging path for learners, helps them find what they need quickly, and you'll see how they can really easily track their progress in the new content experience. So let's take a look. Here I am as Faith Alexander in her Business 201 course. Let's begin with the predictable and clean interface that the new content experience offers. So one piece of feedback that we've heard is that they really appreciate this intuitive layout. It reduces the friction on behalf of the learner and just gives them confidence as they move through their learning. So let me show you what I mean. On this left panel here, we have this table of contents, and learners can see a list of all the modules that are available to them. And You'll also notice these progress markers here. So 2 out of 8 completed, 2 out of 4 completed, 1 out of 2. This is highlighting 3 important metrics for the learner. How many content topics are in that unit in total, how many the learners completed, and how many they have left to go. So this really supports them with keeping on track of what they need to do in this course. If I click on this Start Here module here, I'll see this course information folder. And once I open that up, I can see multiple different types of content here in this single streamlined view. And I want to point your attention towards these icons on the left beside the names of the content topic. These are going to help learners see at a glance what type of content it is, so they have visibility into exactly what's required of them and what's ahead. And what I love about this is that everything appears in line. So once I select on this content object, I'm going to see it appear nicely in line here on the right-hand side. This provides a really engaging path and helps learners move through the content without losing their place. So whether it's this beautiful course learning outcomes page, which was built natively in Brightspace using one of our pre-built HTML templates, or a video lesson that has been added from the media library that actually has automated closed captions built right into it that we can see here. It could be a PDF file that has been embedded into content, such as this syllabus. And we can also see clear due dates that have been added for the instructor here. So the learner knows exactly what's expected to them. And once the learner has satisfied the conditions of being complete, whether it's automatically when they open that content object, or in this situation where they're required to manually mark it as complete, this helps the learners because they don't need to double check and worry about whether they've completed something or not. They have that clear visual progress marker that tells them if they've completed it. And so using these arrows, I can move through that content really seamlessly. This is another PDF and an image here as well. So as you can see, the new content experience provides learners with that clear path for their learning in this logical structure. Now let's close up that folder here and open up this week 1 module. So the new content experience brings accessible activities directly into the content experience. So whether in its assignment, discussion, or quiz, there's really no need to leave the content area. So let's start by looking at this first assessment here, this assignment, My Learning Goals for Business. At the top, we can see the activity content area, which provides learners with the deadline. Here we can see that it's actually overdue, the expectations below, and the evaluation details. If I scroll back up to the top, I want you to notice this status card here. And we can clearly see that Faith has not submitted this assignment. And she knows exactly what she needs to do. And she can click on this submission option, which she'll be brought to the bottom of this page, the My Work area. And she can actually very easily submit her assessment right from here. So I'm just going to simply drag and drop this file from my computer into that submission box and submit it. She's got that clear notification that she submitted, and our status card now has changed, so Faith can clearly see that she submitted this and she's waiting on an evaluation from her instructor. So if I go up to this next assignment here, here's an example of an assignment that Faith has submitted, and she can clearly see that she's been provided with her overall grade here, and she can clearly go and look at that feedback. So here she can see her full evaluation from the instructor, whether that's text feedback, and in this situation, she even has a completed rubric with some feedback that's been embedded into the rubric. And at the bottom, she can even see that specific assignment that she submitted and the inline feedback that her instructor has provided. So without leaving that content area, Faith is able to see all those details about her work. So when it comes to other accessible activities, such as a discussion, we can see that consistent experience. Here, Faith is met with a discussion, and because this layout is identical to what we saw in assignments, the learner doesn't need to learn a new workflow. So once you know how to submit one assessment type, you can submit to all of them. So again, she can review the activity content at the top here, and then go ahead and open that discussion, which she'll be brought to here, and she can go ahead and start a new thread and start engaging in that right away. Finally, here is a quiz that Faith has already taken. And again, we can see that consistent look and feel in the interface. Here, seeing her grade, due date information, the activity content, and then her submission of her work below. If we jump ahead into week 2, you can see what it looks like if you have not completed a quiz yet. And it's very simple to just go ahead to that attempt, and then she can go ahead and start her quiz from here. So as you can see, those consistent assessment experiences make it really easy for learners. So it reduces that friction and helps learners focus on their learning by being able to see everything they need in one spot. The last thing I want to showcase from a learner's perspective is this search bar from the top. So if you need to revisit a topic or search ahead, you can simply type in a keyword and the results are going to appear instantly. The search functionality looks at titles and descriptions, so learners can quickly find what they're looking for. So for example, I'm looking for the syllabus. Here's the actual PDF of the syllabus, but this course information description actually includes that word syllabus, so it's going to bring it up for me here. No matter what device is being used, the new content experience is all mobile responsive. So the experience feels just right on any device. Let me show you what I mean. If I shrink my screen down, as so, you'll notice that the real estate of the screen is adjusting. So that content, no matter if I shrink it down into a mobile view or even a tablet, it's not compromising any of the content that's on the page, and I can still look at that very clearly. So whatever device learners are using, they are going to have that consistent experience, and it really adapts to you, helping our learners stay on track anytime and anywhere that they are. So you just experienced the new content experience as a learner. So we saw how it really improves learner engagement and clarity with the intuitive layout, the clear learning paths, and the visibility into the progress tracking with completion metrics and those status cards. Let's jump back to our slide deck and see how the new content experience supports our instructors and our course designers. So the new content experience doesn't only offer that intuitive, simplified experience for learners, but it's also really simple for instructors and our course designers to use. So they can spend less time on setting up their course and more time on teaching and pedagogy. So in our demonstration, I'm going to show you how simple it is to create, organize, and manage your materials in the new content experience. Its seamless integration with other tools in Brightspace, like our assignments, discussions, and quizzes, means you don't have to open up multiple tabs or windows to manage those content and activities. You can do it all from one spot. So let's take a look. So here I am back in my business course, but now as an instructor, Regina Davis. So we saw as a learner, the content area is where they can come to interact with those course materials. But as the instructor or course designer, I have that similar smooth visual appearance in content. And I also have this designer view where I can actually manage and author new components here. So if I open up that course information folder, what you're going to see is that this interface is very similar. And that from what you saw as a learner. What's really important about this is that it creates a really easy experience to assist those learners as they're moving through their course, because what they're seeing is very similar to what you are seeing. Again, just like we saw as the learner, we have those very helpful icons on the left to show us what those content objects are. If we open up this week 1, let's take a look at the assignment that we saw from the learner perspective. You'll notice that at the top here, this activity content looks exactly the same as what we saw as a learner. So what I love about this interface is that instructors can instantly review activity instructions, such as what we see here. or even make changes to the assignment by clicking on this edit activity. So this is going to actually open up that editing interface for the assignment. And what this means is that I don't actually need to go back to the assignments tool, find the assignment, and then make changes there. So it's going to take me way less clicks to actually make any edits that I need to. And if I minimize this activity content at the bottom, here we have a completion summary. So as learners complete this activity, this area is going to fill up with data. Here, I can see all of the learners in the course, their completion status, their grade if I've evaluated it, and then if I need to jump into that evaluation workflow, I can do that straight from here. So this provides a really clear view of learner progress, that submission history, and readiness for evaluation. Also, something that's super important here is I can also see if the learner is online. So for example, this assignment was overdue, for example. We saw that Faith was late in this assignment. So I could actually go ahead and reach out to her straight from here via email or instant message. The best part about this is that assessment experiences are consistent. So if I move ahead to a discussion, I can see a very similar layout. Here it is. And you'll notice something a little bit different in the discussion area. I can actually go to the topic to review it from here, or I can jump straight into that editing experience like we saw for the assignment. And finally, for a quiz, again, we can edit the activity straight from here or go ahead and launch the quiz if I want to see what it looks like here. So we can see all that activity content, the attempt details, but then what you'll notice in the completion summary are additional details about the number of attempts the learner has completed. And if this wasn't an auto-graded quiz and required the instructor's intervention to assess, then again, I can jump straight into that evaluation experience in one click here. So this really brings to life how efficient this inline experience is to instructors. They can edit an activity, check the completion status, and launch into evaluation all without leaving this content space. So this is really important because it reduces the cognitive load by having everything in one place. Everything is streamlined, intuitive, and right where you need it. Brightspace also has really powerful content authoring functionality that I'm excited to show you. So you saw how learners interact with content. Now let's explore how instructors and course designers can use really simple workflows to build beautiful content in Brightspace. So let's start with creating a brand new unit in the contents area. So we'll go to New Unit and Create Unit. The first thing I'll do is add in a title here for my week 3. And I can also add in a due date if I'd like to have my learners review this content module by a certain date. I'm going to skip that option for now and go to our description area. So when I create a new module or unit, I have the option to add in a description. And the reason why this is helpful is because of that search functionality that we looked at before. Any keywords in the description can be found through that search option. So I'm going to add in my short description here just by pasting that in. I actually am going to add an image here as well. So before I do that, I'm going to just add in a quick table here so that it looks a little bit prettier. So let me go ahead and do that. I'm going to add a table in, and I don't want there to be any borders here. So I'm going to just save that. And this time I'm going to add that text on the right and just do a little bit of formatting here. And then on the left-hand side, I actually want to insert an image. So I'm going to add an image here. And what I can do is actually drag and drop an image that I have on my computer and upload it here. So once I click add, I will be prompted to add in some alternative text that will be read if a learner is using a screen reader. So I'm going to add that in, or if it's decorative, I can select that. And there we are. So we've got that short description and an image here. And then let's look over on the right. I'm met with some additional options over here. So in the availability dates and conditions, I can open this up and I can choose a start and end date. So my start date is when do I want this content to be available to my learners? So say, for example, this is week 3, and if my week 3 doesn't start until the 27th, for example, I can choose to only make this visible during at that start of that week. If I don't want them to see it ahead of time, I have that option. So I'll set that up here. And for the end date, this means that learners won't be able to see it after this end date. So I'm not going to set an end date because I want them to be able to see that. Here I have an option for release conditions. So what this means is that if you only want learners to see this unit after they've satisfied a certain criteria, this is an option. So for example, perhaps you only want them to see this week 3 content after they've completed their week 2 quiz. Here's where you could add in that release condition to set that up for them. We'll leave that as well. Once I open up this display accordion, this has to do with the color of the actual module that we were looking at on the left-hand side in the table of contents. So what this does is it adds to the visual appeal, and we've also heard from learners that they really appreciate the color coding to support with organization and navigation. So the default color is going to match the color of the navigation bar theme. So in this case, we have that navy blue theme. So if I could just leave it like this and it will match that theme. But if you wanted to make it a different color, you can actually select this custom option and you can go ahead and select a color here. I'll just choose this purple and save it. And then that means that this entire unit or module is going to be this color. I will just say a note that the ability to change this color of the module is controlled by a permission. So now that we have this unit, let's just go ahead and save and close. All right, so we can see that this is automatically going to come in as hidden for my learners. So I'm going to make this visible, but we are reminded that this is only going to be available based on that start date that we've set. And we can go back and change that at any time as well. So now that we have our unit built, let's start with adding content that maybe you've already have in your that you already have on your computer that you want to just start adding in here. So Brightspace supports bulk drag and drop. So this means you can easily add in any static content that you have, and it's going to upload directly into the interface. So PowerPoints, PDF, Word documents, or even any multimedia that you have, audio or video files, a SCORM package. So I just have 3 files that I have on my computer that I'm just going to simply drop. And we can see that they have been added here. And again, they've been automatically added as hidden, and I can go ahead and make that those visible as well. And I can also move them around too, as I wish. I want to put them in this order, I can do that as well. After we have added any content that we might already have on our computer, you can also use our beautiful 2-button experience on the right, which allows you to either add existing files that maybe you, again, already have either on your device or within Brightspace that you've created, or you can actually create new content or activities directly in Brightspace. So let's start with this add existing option here. So I'm met with many options here. So I have the ability to bring in files from my Google Drive or my OneDrive, or I can just drag and drop like you saw me do earlier from my computer, or browse from my computer. That's what I would do here below. And if you've already created an accessible activity in Brightspace, such as an assignment, discussion, or quiz, you can actually add that right in line for learners to see, like we saw with Faith when she was moving through her content and she was met with that assignment. So let me show you how you would do that. So in this case, I'll bring in an assignment. I'm going to choose the assignment that I want, which is this one called Financing a Business. And I'm going to see that render beautifully in line here into my content area. So this workflow is exactly the same if I were to go in, add in a discussion or a quiz, for example. Now that we know how to add in existing content that we might have built in Brightspace or that we have on our computer, let's look at how easy it is to author content directly into Brightspace. So I'm going to go back to my unit here. I've selected on my unit, and now I'm going to select Create New. So I can build a new lesson, a page, or an activity here. A lesson is like a submodule or a folder within that unit or module. Could be an additional support folder or a folder that has maybe additional instructor resources that might be hidden to learners. So I'm going to select a page to author a new page of content. And the first thing that I can do is add in my page title. And I can also add in a due date, again, like we saw before. And I can also, if I have learning outcomes or standards added in my course, I can align this content to those learning outcomes. So if I click here, I'm going to be met with this really clean interface here where I can just simply grab the one that I want, the outcome that I'd like, and then save that, and then I can see that appear here. You might be noticing some of these little sparkles here on the page. I'm just going to call these out. There might be questions in the chat already. Those are components of our AI package called D2L Lumi. So this is not the focus of today's session, but just in case you're wondering what those are, that is from an add-on package called D2L Lumi. So I'll just preface that because you might see that those sparkles coming up in some different areas as we go along here. But anyway, as we move on to the rest of the page content here, you do not have to start from scratch when you're building content in Brightspace. So if we head over here, we can actually select, you have the ability to apply a template. And so I can choose a template that applies to the content that I'm building. In this case, we're just going to choose this basic page here as well. And let's make it full screen so that's really easy for us to start building this out here. You'll notice that this page, when I've applied it, actually has built-in instructional design best practices on the page. That's going to help me learn how I can edit this page as well, which is really, really helpful. So as the designer here, I can simply use the Brightspace editor to override the different components. So say, for example, I'm just going to add in my title here, and all I'm doing is simply pasting over the beautiful layout that's already been organized for me. So I'm not starting on this blank page here. So I'm just going to be adding, just copying and pasting my content. As you can see, it's really, really simple to do. So I'm just going to add in one more piece of text here. And then in addition to text, we can actually insert multimedia or images. So I can add in an internally or externally authored piece of media, and I can use insert stuff to do that. So here's our familiar Brightspace editor that we're going to see across wherever we can create content in Brightspace. And our insert stuff button gives me lots of different options here. So here's the option to add in something from my computer if I have an audio or video file I want to add in here. And if I click on Add Video Note, I can actually record a video directly in the solution itself with Video Note, up to 30 minutes long, and will actually automatically generate those closed captions for me, which is really powerful. The media library allows you to centrally store all your media assets within the learning environment. So if you have a video that you've already created and have in there, you can add that straight into your course really easily. And I can also pull in something from YouTube, which is what I'm going to do. So if you have the URL, you can search for the URL, or you can just type in your search words like I will here, search for your video, select it, and then really easily be able to see that preview and insert it right in line here. So after I've added in a little bit of multimedia, I can add in a little bit more. I'm going to skip this part, but I do want to add something into this beautiful call out here that we have at the bottom of our page. So in this case, again, I'm just going to copy and paste some text that I already have. And I can use just some simple editing features like bolding here to to make this content formatted in the way I want to. But what I want to point your attention to here is the ability to change colors of our text. So if I just go ahead and highlight that. Oh, let's just go up here and use this as an example. If I just highlight my text, I'm going to go up here into my my color picker here, and I can choose a color. And what you'll notice here is we have a built-in web content accessibility guideline color contrast ratio checker. So if I change the color here, I'm met with some X's here that's going to tell me that it is inaccessible. So I can get that instant feedback that it's not meeting those WCAG requirements here. So if I go ahead and choose something else, I can see that it is meeting those requirements, and I can go ahead and click Save here. So we can see that that text color has been changed really, really easily. So once we're done building out our page, we can run Brightspace's built-in accessibility checker, which we can find up here. And it's a dedicated button that is going to review your content, look for known issues that might not comply with those WCAG guidelines, and allow you to remediate a variety of different accessibility concerns. So for example, if I had an inappropriate color contrast ratio, it would flag this to me so I could change it. If I had an image with no alternative text that was not marked as decorative, or if my headings were not in sequential order, it's going to catch all of those accessibility concerns. So to ensure that the content that I create is accessible for all learners. So since I have no accessibility issues detected, I can select OK, and I'm just going to exit out of full screen so that I can look at the other components of my page. So just like we saw when we were building that initial unit here, let's look on the right-hand side for those additional options that we have. So again, we have that ability to add in those start and end dates, and then as well as release conditions. But then this is something new that we didn't see before. And this is the option to decide what will mark this as complete for the learner. So there's two options here. Automatically when they open it up, or will the learner actually have to mark as complete, which we saw Faith do earlier, where she had to click off that button that she's actually read that content. So these are the options. That's how you decide those options here for what constitutes as complete. So I'm just going to leave that as automatically as opened, and then I'm going to go ahead and save and close. So here is my content page that is almost all built out, and it's rendered nicely in line here. And when I'm ready for that to actually be visible, I can use these really simple visibility toggles to make that content visible. So beyond authoring content, we also have a really consistent experience to offer different activities or assessments. So we have a content page here, but I want to show you how easy it is to build an assessment now. So back on our unit here, I'm going to create new. This time, instead of creating a page, I'm going to just create an assignment. So what you'll notice already that this is looking very similar to what we just saw when we were building that page before. And what you will notice is that across assignments, discussions, and quizzes, it's also going to be laid out the same. So why this is important is because as a course designer, this is really going to speed things up so that you don't need to learn a new workflow every time. So the left 3/4 of my page are really the core aspects of my activity, the title, the outcomes here, the grade value, the due date, and my instructions. So let's go ahead and just really quickly fill those parts in. Again, I can go ahead and select those outcomes that I would like. And I can choose to actually add this to my gradebook if I want to, and add in a due date. So the important part about this is that if I do add a due date, it's actually going to create that calendar event for me and populate in the work to do widget if that's something that you're using. Then in my instructions area, I could definitely add in more detailed instructions, but we'll just do some brief ones here. And then I do want to just show how easy it is to actually, if you have a file to upload, you can just really easily do that within this experience. So the same experience that we saw before, we can just drag and drop that file into our assignment instructions. And then on the right, I do have those additional features and functions just tucked away really neatly in this panel. So again, we have that start date and end date. So say I chose my start date for next Monday, I actually have some additional options here. I can choose what I want this to look like before that start date. So I have some additional settings that I can determine whether or not I want my learners to see it at all, or if I want them to see it but not be able to submit it, for example. So we have some additional options here as well, and then as well as our end date here. And then let's just, we have a couple of additional options here tucked behind the submission and completion, but we'll leave those for now. And what I want to look at is this evaluation and feedback option. So this is just an example of how we've designed Brightspace to create consistency, but also reduce the cognitive load on the designers and whoever's building the course here. So when you're using these tools, you're just learning sort of one workflow, and then once you're comfortable with it, you'll see it across all of those tools. So that's a really nice, consistent, and clean experience for those building courses. Here I have the option to add a rubric, so I can either create a new one right from this interface, or in this case, I already have one that I've built, so I'm going to just add that in here as well. Have the ability to even preview that as well from this area. And once I'm done with all of those settings, I can just go ahead and select Save and Close. So it's really easy to build out those core concepts in those assessment experiences. And if I went to, for example, create a new and a discussion, you'll see that that interface is exactly the same. So again, not needing to learn a new workflow here. We won't go out and build a discussion here. So the last area that I want to take a moment to draw attention to is this outcomes dashboard here in the top left corner. So this tells me how many of the learning outcomes that have been added into my course are currently aligned with content items. So in this case, at least all of the 8 outcomes or standards that have been added into my course are aligned to one or more piece of content. So this is showing me really a bird's eye view of all the outcomes in my course and where they've been aligned to those individual for each of my units here as well. And if there is an outcome that has not been aligned to something, it will show it in a different color here to flag it for me. So let me show you how you can align your an outcome to a piece of your content. So if I go to this week 3 units that we just created, if I select these three dots here, I can select View Outcomes. And here, this is going to show me what specific topics or activities in that unit and their alignment to those different outcomes here. If I want to edit that, I can simply go ahead and edit and just add in whatever I'd like to align those areas to. So it's really simple. I don't need to open up a new window. I can do it all from this area. So it's just a really simple workflow here to ensure that your learning outcomes are aligned to the content in your course. So you just saw how this really nice modern interface of the new content experience offers a really streamlined experience for our instructors and course creators to organize and manage content. And because of those familiar, intuitive workflows, you can really create beautiful content in Brightspace and do it faster than ever. So let's look at just a summary of back at what we looked at today. So first of all, we saw how the new content experience empowers learners and really gives them visibility and control over their learning. We saw how easy it was to find what you need, stay focused, and engaged with that streamlined view that keeps learners on track. Next, you saw how new content experience is really simple for educators to learn and very efficient for instructors and course designers. We saw how intuitive the interface is to create, manage, and organize. content, and how the new content experience really removes that complexity so our instructors can focus on that teaching and learning. And we do that with the consistent experiences that we saw. So you can have less clicks, reduce that cognitive load that comes along with that course creation. And finally, the new content experience is really designed for future. It's where Brightspace is headed. And as we talked about before, it really reflects the latest in usability research and ongoing improvements. So we really hope that throughout today's demonstration, you really saw the value of the new content experience and are excited to continue to explore it in your institution. So we will have some time for questions, but just a couple more things to tell you about before we get to that point. So the first is just a quick survey. We'd love to hear your thoughts. If you would like to share your feedback with us, it really helps improve our offerings for future sessions to better meet your needs. So as I go through these next few slides, we'd love if you could just take a minute to fill out that survey. So you can scan the QR code, or there'll also be a link that will be added to the chat that you can access. And we also have a couple of links as well that provide information on our product idea exchange. So if you do have any feedback regarding Brightspace itself, be sure to check out these resources. Your input is really important to us. We also invite you to join the D2L Champions program. So being a champion gives you the opportunity to receive points for attending webinars, submitting blog posts, and even giving us reviews online. And then you can redeem these points for all sorts of fun things. So there'll also be a link in the chat if you'd like to learn more about being a champion and how to sign up. Just wanted to bring your attention towards some of our webinars that are coming up in the future. So you can see that we've got lots of exciting things planned for you over the next couple of months. And speaking of webinars, our training team actually hosts 2 monthly sessions for all Brightspace users. So there's a Q&A drop-in session where you can get your questions answered. And the second is focused on what's new in Brightspace using our monthly release notes. So these sessions really give you free access to our D2L training team. And you can find those if you go to our events page on the Brightspace community to sign up for these sessions that are being offered every month. So I really do encourage you to, to join those. And finally, we have some time for questions and discussion. So I'll just put up a couple of these questions up, but we do welcome you to share. If you'd like to unmute, you can put your hand up and we can unmute you, or we'll just simply go through the questions that might be outstanding in the Q&A, and I'll let my wonderful team let me know if there's something that someone would like to see in more detail actually in the environment. So open it up for that now. Okay, let's see. Okay, I see Sarah has a question about adding inline comments and feedback on documents that students have submitted. Yes, so when you go to evaluate, I can show you how you do that. I'll start there and then I'll let my team, please feel free to interrupt me to let me know what I can showcase next, but I'll start there. So if I am going into this think this is a good example where we have an actual document here. Let's see. Yes, okay. So once you open up that document, just give it a moment to load here, you'll be met with some annotation tools where you can add in those details on the page. So in the example that I showed, I was just using this note feature. You can choose different colors here and different icons that you want. So if you just want like a simple comment, you can just simply add that in here as well. So it's as simple as that. You also have if you just wanted to like add text on the page, you can do that. Get this. You have the option to do that as well. So there's lots of different annotation tools that you can use here. Even if you just wanted to draw on the page, you can do that as well. And what's valuable about this is that all that really great feedback that's been provided can be saved and used by the learner. All right, William, I'm just going to unmute you to ask your question.
Great. Hi.
Hi.
Um, I just wanted to clarify the inline assignment and discussion and quiz view in the content area. Is that going to be made the default at some point coming forward? I know I had to turn it on for my institution from the default, which is just like a circle that says go to the activity. Is this what the default is going to be in the future?
That is a really great question. And yes, right now it's controlled by a configuration variable. I might need to ask one of my other team members to um, provide that answer if there is one, if we're able to. So I'm not sure of that off the top of my head, William, but thanks for that great question.
She's like, hey, Renata, I think that is accurate to say that the inline display would be the default. We've got lots of great feedback about it, and it definitely provides additional value. So that would ultimately be the default as we move forward with our new content experience.
Thank you, Lindsay.
That's great to hear.
Thanks for that question, William. All right, I think we have two other hands up. So Clint, you should be able to unmute.
Yeah, mine's more of a statement just in that inline feedback, really useful tool, that's for sure. If you've got a tablet, really, really handy. It works really well with most documents. One thing that's handy too that I just mentioned in the question area is there's a record audio and record video. So if you have lots to add, it's a really powerful tool and means you don't have to overload what you put on the paper. You can make a note or highlight or post it or whatever on the inline and then have that video and be able to say a heck of a lot in about a minute or two and save yourself a lot of typing and get the point across to the student.
Thank you. That's wonderful to hear. Thanks for sharing that. Really appreciate you adding that, Clint. Definitely agreed. Appa, not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right, but you should be able to unmute.
Let's unmute. Okay. Now you can probably hear me, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. My question is, I think our university has D2L at a basic level, and so I do use most of the elements that are there. But you mentioned something that I'm really interested to try, to place the quiz in the module and then have the grades. Can those grades, actually, that's my main question. Can the grades for the particular quiz that you place on the interface go directly to the section of the grades that are on the module, on the site, course site? Can that happen?
I'll just make sure I understand your question. Are you asking if a quiz is graded, if the grade is going to push directly to the Brightspace gradebook once it's assessed in the quiz?
What I'm asking is, because you're mentioning that we can have a quiz directly on the interface
Yep.
in the module, and which is something new, because otherwise I ask my students to go to the assignment section and then attempt the quiz. But if we can do it from the particular interface in the module, that's very great. So if I was wondering whether we can transfer whatever we do, whatever grade they get for the module quiz, can it directly go to the grades gradebook?
Yes. Yep.
Can that happen?
Yep. So
Okay.
any quiz that's assessed, it will directly be aligned to the grades tool. You don't need to input anything in two spots.
Okay. I was just wondering, there's a tab that we have to strike or touch base with before we transfer the grade to the grade. That was what you mean. It's automatically, it's going to work, then it's fine. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So if you can actually create, if you wanted to actually build your quiz straight from content, you could select this create new and quiz.
Okay. Got
And then
it.
you need to decide like if it is going to be added to your gradebook. But
Oh,
once you do add
okay.
it to your
Got it.
gradebook
Got it.
here,
Got it.
whatever you decide, then once it's assessed, those grades are gonna from the quiz will push to the gradebook. So there's no
Yeah,
extra steps required.
yeah, that's very good to know that there is a
Awesome.
tab that we can use. Okay.
Great.
Fine. Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Kathy. Should be able to ask your question now. Oh,
As we're currently in the classic content, and as we look at also at some of the enticing features for new content, I'm wondering, is there any change or how much change is reflected in the grades area? Would you have time to pop that open and just sort of show us if that looks any different?
yes, I can. I'm just moving over to a different course that has a more built-out grade book. But the grades area is going to should look the same as you saw, even if you're using the classic experience. So
Okay, thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, I think just going in order here. Let's go with Adam. You should be able to unmute Adam if you have a question. I think I saw your hand, but maybe not. Okay.
Sorry, I don't have a question. I'm
Oh,
good. Thanks. Oh.
thanks, Adam. Sorry.
Where are you? Renata, I
Yes.
just wanted to address something because it's come up a number of times in the chat, and I think it's a really good one for us to review. One of them is that making the move, and perhaps you could just show us again there, between new content experience and classic, it really can be as simple as that toggle up at the top of Renata's screen there. So she's in new content experience right now, and she can navigate back over to classic. This is something that's available to our customers because we want to make sure that we're supporting you through that transition and kind of easing you into that. I would be mindful of doing that in a live course because students will experience a little bit of a different view, but it's a great way to learn. And all of your content will still be there. The other item is thinking about the runway. We've not yet announced a day to officially transition to new content experience, but we're very mindful of the change and what would be required from the organizations that we work with. And there would be ample time before any change like that was announced and finalized.
Thank you, Lindsay. Just taking a look at any other questions that we can help support with here. Okay, I see a question about, so add existing. I see a question about adding an LTI tool from existing activities seems to not have all the tools in the external links tool. So external tool. So this is going to be, of course, specific to your institution. What's going to show up here? Seems to not have all the tools. So if something's missing here that you are looking for, would be best to contact your Brightspace administrator to, if you're not seeing something that you're expecting to see when you go into add an external tool activity, that would be where you go to add it. I see a note about deleting recordings, and so you will be able to do that in the media library. If you're an administrator, you'll have access to all of the audio and media within your site. And so from there, you should be able to go and delete those recordings from the media library if you are an administrator. I'm not sure if that helps with your question, Hugh. So I am going to, just noticing the time here, want to thank everybody for your participation and questions today. We are going to document all the questions that have been asked in the Q&A document. If your question wasn't answered today, we will make sure that we get that question answered for you, and it will be shared with you via email. And the recording is going to be posted on our Brightspace tutorials channel. So thank you again for your participation and questions, and we hope to see you next time and hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you very much.